2008, the season of the Birds. Look out, folks. We're going to win this game today. The Rams. What do you think the score is going to be? Can you give me a 24-7 score? We love our Birds. We bleed green. We're here at the stadium every week. There's a game home. If there's a away game, we all get together. And we love our Birds. So go Eagles! Can I get a chant? E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
The Rich Gannon era in St. Louis is finally ready to kick off with some meaningful football, as we'll get into both Week 1 and Week 2 in this episode. The Philadelphia Eagles are our Week 1 opponent, as they are coming off an 8-8 season in 2007 with no playoff appearance. So no doubt the Link will be rocking in Week 1 as they look to get back into the playoff race this year. But as for our Rams, we are actually going to kick this episode off with what might be seen as somewhat of a surprising trade. With all the depth we have accumulated this offseason on the defensive line, there is a lot of mouths to feed. And with Calais Campbell having such an awesome preseason and showing that he needs to be on the field, we're going to have him on the interior defensive line opposite Adam Carricker, which means Cliff Ryan will be getting shipped off. At only 24 years old and an 83 overall, he's definitely somebody with some value, and somebody out there is going to be willing to give up something for him. And no doubt he had interest, but Saints were far and away the best offer, as they were giving up their 3rd and 6th round pick. We gladly accept, and after we traded this upcoming 3rd round pick to get back into this year's draft for DeSean Jackson, we now get that pick back, thanks to the Saints. We have all of our picks, including 2 6s and 2 7s, so we have plenty of ammunition for this upcoming draft. But we're focused on Week 1 in this 2008 season. I won't move Calais Campbell's position to D-tackle, but rather have him set in the depth chart in the defensive tackle position. That way in the future, if we need him back at DN, it'll be easier, especially if there's injuries in the middle of the game or whatever have you. We bring in another D-tackle in Quinn Pitcock for depth. Then other than that, it's just getting this depth chart set up and getting our final game planning in before we head to Lambert International Airport and off to Philadelphia International. But if the pressure wasn't on earlier to start off the season with the win, it certainly got hotter as we failed a ton of goals this preseason. I think our play learning must have been really difficult to achieve since we had an entire new playbook, but I was also benching our veterans like Orlando Pace, DeSean Jackson, and Torrey Holt really early in the preseason games since obviously didn't want to get them hurt and we know what they can do. But at a 29 approval rating, wins are going to be needed to make everybody happy. New season goals are up as our owner wants to see us win 3 out of the first 4 games. The fans want Chris Long to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. The media wants our GM out while bringing back our offensive coordinator Al Saunders. They want Rich Gannon to win Coach of the Year. They want to finish the top 10 in both offensive and defense, all while the owner wants us to finish the year with an approval rating of at least 50. I don't know about you guys, but those expectations are pretty damn high for a team that just won 3 games last season. I mean, those are expectations for a team to be in the NFC Championship game at least, if you ask me. So that'll be tough to achieve, but winning cures everything. John Madden once said winning is a great deodorant, so that is all that's going to matter for our approval rating. But let's get this 2008 season kicked off already, as we head into the hostile Lincoln Financial Field with the 1 o'clock kickoff to start the Rich Gannon era. Before we get things kicked off, let's check our injury report real quick, as we will be without Will Witherspoon. Big blow to our linebacker core as we have to contain the shifty Brian Westbrook. Hopefully the front 7 holds it together in his absence, as we are going to be turning to the undrafted free agent Jeremy Lehman as the mic, who made a few decent plays here and there in this preseason. But here we go, everyone. The 2008 season is finally set to begin as Matt Prater gets us kicked off. Eagles get it past the 20, but we get some sound form tackling by number 56 Carlos Dansby to kick things off here. So first look at our defense this season as we come in with a 4-3 set as we run our Tampa 2 defense. McNabb tries to come out gunning downfield, but with no luck as it's overshot. Second down is a different story as McNabb is sitting pretty and delivers a strike over the middle for a first down. So now 1st and 10 at midfield for Philly as they go play action looking for a deep shot. But McNabb has to settle for the check down, so we finally get in the QB's face thanks to Chris Long. 2nd and 8 now as Philly comes out throwing again, but this time it gets jumped by Carlos Dansby, and he's looking to take this back all the way back. How about that to start this 2008 season? A pick 6 from our free agent acquisition, Carlos Dansby from the Arizona Cardinals, and he makes a statement. Finishes off with quite the spike too to quiet down this Philly crowd. So now a quick 7-0 lead for our Rams, but it seems the game plan for Philly is simply to attack our weak secondary. But look at Carlos Dansby laying out to put a paw on the ball. The juices are clearly flowing for Dansby so far in this game. 2nd down with a nickel blitz nearly gets home, but McNabb picks up a first as they still have yet to attempt a run with Brian Westbrook. Interesting strategy so far. Hey, but maybe this is wise. Tuno Samoa tracks him down for a loss for 3 with Westbrook's first carry of the game. Linebackers are active so far for this Rams defense. But the problem with Westbrook is he can make an impact in the passing game as well, as we see right here. Now 1st down as McNabb fakes the handoff, hits his receiver in a soft spot in the defense, and he is off. Ty Law gets a hand on him, but that's not enough as Mike Doss takes a bad angle, and Reggie Brown takes it to the house to tie this thing back up. 0-0 game again. So some good from our D early, mostly good from Dansby, but some bad mainly from the secondary. Need to see our D-line make some noise as they have been very quiet early in this game. But we get our first look at this Rich Gannon-led offense in the regular season as DeSean Jackson takes it past the 20. 1st down as we get Brian Leonard in motion, handing it off to Jackson to get the ground game going and nothing doing as Philly blows this one up. 2nd down now as Bolger drops back and gets a nice ball out to his trusty steed, Torrey Holt, for a good pickup here. 3rd and short, and we get a quick handoff to Leonard, who puts a nice shoulder in the flat-footed Eagles backer, and we get ourselves a fresh set of downs. Let's see if we can get DeSean Jackson going as he takes it outside and delivers a force push to the Eagles corner and gets it down the sideline for a first. Right back to him as he literally falls ass backwards for a first down, and this Rams offense is moving so far. With the run game being so effective so far, this is a great time to call a play-action shot play. Leonard in motion as we're going to look like that same counter play that we just called. Bolger fakes it but doesn't stay patient with the play and tries to get it off quick. Picked off by the Wolverine, Brian Dawkins. Come on, Bolger. With what was turning into a nice move of the ball, keeping the clock going, this drive gets thrown away by an awful decision to throw it over the middle to one of the best safeties in the league. Terrible play by Bolger. So now Eagles possess the ball as McNabb tries to take off and make something happen, but Dansby punishes him for that decision. But absolutely devastating news from the medical staff as DeSean Jackson is out for this game with a right leg injury. Damn, I was checking his health and fatigue before calling his number too, and he was staying above the 90s, so didn't think we'd run him into the ground so early. Huge blow for this offense. 3rd down though as the Eagles pick up the first with an easy run by Westbrook up the middle. Next play, McNabb goes with the play action again and hits his man Reggie Brown, who mosses one over Mike Doss, and he completely misses this play. Brown takes one to the house once again. 14-7 Eagles. This secondary is one of the biggest concerns heading into the season, and it does not look good early. What's even scarier is this is the Eagles receiving core, which is pretty damn mediocre, honestly, and Reggie Brown is torching us. I don't want to see what happens when we have to go up against the Cardinals twice with Larry Fitzgerald or Anquan Bolden. That is going to be rough. With no DeSean Jackson, we got to see what we can get with this passing game, as Bolger hits Stallworth for a nice quick first down. Just a few plays later, Bolger throws one in the dirt as it looks like there was some confusion by the receivers in the spacing. 3rd and long, and Bolger is looking to make a play over the middle, and oh man, he nearly gets Pittman killed on this high throw. Just not a great start for Bolger so far. Feely gets the ball back as we finally see some life out of our D-line thanks to second overall pick Chris Long, who comes in unblocked and rings Westbrook's bell for a nice loss. And that's how we end the first quarter. Starting off the second quarter, Carlos Dansby comes off the edge on a blitz and bats the pass down at the line, even getting a hit on McNabb just for extra measure. Dansby continues to make plays in this one. Third and long as McNabb is looking for another deep one here, and this time OJ Atagwe gets a nice pass breakup and gets this defense finally off the field. Quiet game offensively so far as Brian Leonard just can't get anything going on the outside. Third and 10 as Bolger tries to get it past the sticks, and we run into some spacing problems again with our receivers. I don't know if it's the playbook knowledge problems or my scheme, but I didn't see any issues when we were drawing these plays up, so not sure what's going on here. Either way, it's another whole lot of nothing for our offense in this one. Eagles back with the ball as Westbrook gets a decent gain on first. But on third and short, they surprisingly go with the play action as McNabb tries to throw it across the body, and it's nearly picked off by Tano Samoa. Some aggressive play calling by Andy Reid, but that is to be expected. Bolger and this Rams offense have to get something going as DeSean Jackson tries to high point the ball but gets taken out by the legs. That should have started a fight, honestly, but sadly we don't get that option in this game. Yet another quick third down, but this time Bolger is able to hit his man for the first, and we finally get the chains moving. The Scarlet Knight Brian Leonard gets a decent chunk of yards as he's going to have to carry the torch with no DeSean Jackson. And on third and 6, we get a big first down thanks to tight end Randy McMichael to keep this drive alive and get on Philly's side of the field. Maybe this offense is finally starting to show some signs of life as Torrey Holt makes a phenomenal catch for a huge first to put us inside the 20. Second and 10, Bolger looks the hole again, who picks up the first, and now we're on the 5-yard line looking to tie this thing back up. First and goal as Steve Slayton checks in, who tries to bounce it outside but is taken down for a loss. Second and goal now as we try to get something quick out of Bolger's hands, but it's batted down at the line. Now with third and goal and a big opportunity to tie it up, we can't waste it. And we're going to draw one up in the dirt like some backyard football style. Looking to hit a quick strike to Torrey Holt here on the slant. But if that's covered up, then maybe we have the flats open. But this is really a Holt or bust play. Holt comes in motion and is what is clearly man coverage. As Bolger drops back, looks like the crossing route is open, but Bolger drops it to his man Torrey Holt, who snags it for the TD. The trust level between those two is very visible, and if you're playing fantasy this week, make sure you correlate your lineups with those two. So the offense does their job before the half. Now can the defense? Westbrook gets a nice pickup as we are struggling once he hits past the first level. Next play, McNabb hits his man in stride as the Eagles are starting to get something going once again. Next play, McNabb throws a perfectly placed ball for another first, and now they are starting to break out into their no huddle. Remember, Eagles do have David Akers as their kicker, who has a really nice leg, so we gotta be careful here. McNabb, though, tries to throw one outside, and this should have been another house call for our defense, but it gets dropped. McNabb tries to make us pay for not capitalizing off of that opportunity as he hits his man again for a first down, and back into the no huddle we go as we approach the 1.5-minute mark. McNabb tries to throw it outside, and again another interception is dropped. Got to take advantage of these opportunities in this one, guys. Come on. Just when you think you won't see that a third time, here it is, another dropped interception on the sideline by our secondary. We're bound to grab one of those, though, I hope. I mean, there's only so many times they can keep doing it, and we got to capitalize it at some point. Big third down here, though, as McNabb looks to pass, and Chris Long puts the tackle in the blender and gets his hand on the pass. No first career sack so far for Chris Long, but he is definitely making an impact so far. Offense is back out with a little over a minute, so let's see if we can get something going here. Bolger drops back and hits his rookie Stevie Johnson, who picks up some nice yak for a first down. Second down now. Bolger takes a deep drop as the Eagles bring the pressure, and wide open the flat is Randy McMichael, and Randy is going for it. Run, Randy, run! Finally chased down as he brings it all the way to the 10-yard line. Tic-tac, 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 though. 18 seconds left. Bulger hits the flat for no gain, and we have to call a timeout with 8 seconds left.
That wasn't good.
But I accidentally dismissed the play call here, so the CPU calls for the field goal. But we should have definitely taken at least one more shot to the end zone with 2 timeouts left. Oh well, we get the lead going into the half, so that's all that matters. 17-14 in Lincoln Financial Field, and we are in for a good one. I can definitely feel it. We get the ball to start off the second half with yet another nice return out of DeSean Jackson. And after a holding call on first, Bulger looks to throw it. He gets a pretty nice, decent play here to Brandon Williams. Second down, Bulger makes another nice throw for a first down to who else but Torrey Holt, who is making a nice little PPR day for his fantasy owners. But 2nd and 5 turns into 2nd and 15 as another holding call is called. And Bulger can't get anything done as the opening drive of this second half is nothing to show for it.
I'm going to say that's not what we wanted.
So we've got an interesting game here as both teams have their fair share of big plays here and there, but neither side is pulling away. As Westbrook gets another nice play though on our defense. 3rd and 3, and can the defense get off the field? McNabb drops back and picks up the crucial first down to keep this drive alive. 2nd down as McNabb drops back and checks it off to Westbrook, who just slithers around like a snake around a couple of defenders and gets the first. That man is just a headache for defenses. But you know who's a headache for offenses? Carlos Dansby, as he flies in clean on McNabb for the sack and continues his strong debut for the St. Louis Rams. Gotta love to see this. 2nd and long, and finally our defensive line is making some plays as no one is downfield. McNabb tries to take off, and Adam Carricker delivers a nice blow back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 14 now as McNabb gets it out quick, and man, oh man, this secondary. Huge first down for the Eagles and what should have resulted in another punt for this offense. But our secondary just can't get out of their own way, and another big play is let up again. 2nd overall pick, Chris Long lets out some frustration. However, he delivers a big knock on Westbrook in the backfield. And take a wild guess on who makes another big play on this defense. Carlos Dansby coming around again off the edge for the sack as he's been playing lights out today. 3rd and forever now as the Eagles just try to pick up a few yards to make the field goal attempt a little closer. And it is straight down the pipe with ease for a kicker like Akers. All tied back up as we get closer to the 4th quarter. Bulger tries to swing it out to Williams to get some yak, but nothing doing. Big 3rd down now as Bulger throws a quick strike to Williams and this time picks up the first. And we head to the 4th quarter, all tied up in Lincoln Financial Field. Bulger trying to get something going for this offense, and this will certainly help. Brandon Williams with a nice first down pickup down the sideline. And just a play later, it's the free agent acquisition Dante Stallworth with the big first down, and suddenly the Rams are inside the 25. False start penalty makes it 1st and 15, but it doesn't matter when Torrey Holt is making plays like this. Huge catch to set up the 1st and goal. 2nd down now as Bulger drops back. Goes for the end zone, but it's incomplete. But a defensive pass interference is called, getting a fresh set of downs for the Rams offense. 2nd and goal and running it up the gut with the Scarlet Knight Brian Leonard, who gets so close to crossing the goal line, but just gets stopped. 3rd and goal now on the 3. Try to get the power toss going with Leonard, who just barely gets stopped at the 1st. Maybe could have challenged there, but I didn't really have a great angle on it, and I'm not too sure, so I didn't want to lose a timeout in the 4th quarter in this close of a ball game. We get our first defining moment of the regular season, and of course, on the 1, we're gonna go for it here. Power I, looking to get a quick handoff to the fullback, and UTEC tries to bounce it to the outside and gets stuffed. I just hate when you get into those defining moment play screens because you can't sub in guys. You're just stuck with what it is, so UTEC trying to run it in is not what I wanted. I would have wanted Brian Leonard obviously in that spot. However, we do have Philly on the backs on their own 1, and they come out in a shotgun formation. McNabb takes a snap, and he looks to take off and gets blown up by Chris Long. Live ball recovered in the end zone by Adam Carricker. Touchdown Rams. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness, what a mistake by McNabb, and what a god-awful call by Andy Reid. Just pick up the yards with Brian Westbrook, who's been gashing us all day. Get yourself some breathing room. But instead, it's our second overall pick, Chris Long, who delivers not only his first career sack, but first career turnover. And what a time to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why he was taken second overall right there. Seven-point game now, and did you think Chris Long was done yet? Another huge tackle for a loss to start this drive for the Eagles. What a second half it's been for Long. Second and long, and however, the Eagles deliver a big first down in a much-needed spot. And with all the momentum on our side, the Eagles are starting to crawl back into it as McNabb hits another big play. And a face mask penalty gets tacked onto it, and just like that, the Eagles are inside our own 25. McNabb tries to take things into his own hands and scampers for a nice gain, even tries to dive out for the first. Next play, Westbrook does what he's done all game and gets the first down as the Eagles march closer and closer to tying this thing all back up. So clock is starting to tick down now as the Eagles head into a big 3rd and short situation on our own 7. McNabb drops back and has time, and it hits his man in the back of the end zone, but it's incomplete. Out of bounds, Reggie Brown. Huge break for the Rams. Thought we might be seeing a challenge by Andy Reid, but instead they settle for the 3 and cut our lead to 4. With just 3.5 minutes left, our offense needs to put this game away here and seal it. However, I think teams are going to realize around the league that you just can't kick it to DeSean Jackson as he breaks off another huge return, brings it all the way to the 39. 3 minutes and 26 seconds left. Gotta pick up a few first downs here to seal it. Better yet, a touchdown to really end it. Brian Leonard gets the carry to pick up a few and gets the clock moving. Using up every second we have, we hand it off to Leonard again, who picks up a big first down. Unfortunately, I accidentally dismissed the play call again, and the offense calls another play instead of just letting this go to the 2 minutes. Ridiculous and really could cost us. Anyways though, second down with 2 minutes and Leonard has nowhere to go. Timeout Eagles. 3rd and 5 now as we play it safe and hand it off to Slayton, who nearly gets the first but is taken down. And the refs keep the flags in their pocket. No face mask called. Outrageous. I don't know what they're watching. So 4th and 2 on the road in Philly on the 39-yard line. We're going to go for it. Let's see if we can seal this thing up. Here we go. Bolger under center. Fullback dive to Brian Leonard, who gets it but loses it. Ball is out. Oh, Philadelphia Eagles recover it. Oh, what a costly mistake. Brian Leonard has the first down with ease. All he has to do is protect the ball and just go down. This game is ours. But the Eagles deliver a turnover when they need it at the most. This thing ain't over yet in Philly, everyone. With just under 2 minutes left, can McNabb drive this team down for the lead? First down, easy pickup for the first, and they go into the no huddle. And what has happened every single time on the next play in the no huddle, it's a dropped interception by our defense once again. It is just a staple for our defense. Pretty much our catchphrase is just drop interceptions in this game. 3rd and 1 now, an obvious 4-down territory. McNabb drops back, throws a left, and it's intercepted by OJ Atogwe. He doesn't drop this one, and he's looking to put a nail in the coffin on this game. Touchdown Rams. This time, the secondary turns up. What a ball game we have in Philly, as now it's an 11-point game for your St. Louis Rams. The D hasn't been perfect, but 3, count them, 3 defensive touchdowns is all that matters right now. Eagles now with 1 minute and 21 left. They need a lot to go right to pull this one off. McNabb delivers a nice pass to get the chains moving, and once again, they got to get to the line quick. And right on cue, we drop another interception. Second down, McNabb gets his man who gets a nice pickup and out of bounds to stop the clock as we are now under a minute in this wild Week 1 game. 59 seconds left. McNabb takes the snap and shotgun, fires one deep downfield and caught on the sideline. And the way this game has gone, you certainly can't rule out anything so far. Next play, McNabb under center, drops back with great protection, fires one in the end zone, and that is caught for the touchdown. Exactly what the Eagles needed in such quick time. And just like that, we are back into a 5-point game. Eagles, though, are going to obviously go for the 2-point conversion here to make it a field goal game. As McNabb takes the snap, looks to the right, and delivers it on the money to who else but Reggie Brown for the 2-point conversion. As we now have a 3-point game in our hands in Philly with just 48 seconds left. So here we go, everyone. All down to the onside kick. Not enough timeouts for the Eagles, so with no recovery, this could seal the game. Akers gets the bounce he needs. Ball is loose, ball is loose. McMichael just barely able to recover it for the Rams. And there you go, everyone. Oh, man, what drama we've had today in Philly. What an absolute insane back and forth game that was. But 3 defensive TDs became the deciding factor. And this St. Louis Rams team has kicked off the Rich Gannon era 1-0. An okay day for Mark Bolger, a couple throws here and there, but a lot of drives stalled out. And I still don't forget that awful interception to Brian Dawkins that kicked off the first drive. Hopefully the injury report isn't serious on DeSean Jackson, who left this game early, as no one else could get the running game going in this one. Torrey Holt had a really nice game receiving, but easily the MVP has to go to Carlos Dansby, with his 11 tackle day, including a sack and a pick 6 to get us going. There are definitely some core pieces on this defense that we can build around, and they showed that off today. Speaking of building pieces to our defense, we head back to St. Louis and get our first chance to send scouts to colleges. Obviously, we sent them to the big school corners, as our secondary will be a huge need this offseason we just saw. Week 1 Player of the Week results are out, and Carlos Dansby brings home NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Much deserved. Also, Joey Harrington brings an Offensive Player of the Week, so I'm guessing Alex Smith either didn't win the starting job or he got hurt. Next up is defending Super Bowl champions, the New York Giants. As DeSean Jackson doesn't seem to at least suffer anything serious, but he might miss this game. And checking our inactive list, he is indeed out for this game. So Brian Leonard and Steve Slayton are going to have to step up against this Giants front 7. So let's finish this episode up with our Week 2 home opener against Eli and the New York Giants. Big bulldozer back, Brandon Jacobs gashes us, and it's already looking very similar to how Brian Westbrook was running against us in Philly. But look who hasn't skipped a beat. Carlos Dansby coming into the backfield to deliver a blow on Jacobs, setting up a 3rd and short. But on 3rd down, Eli gets the chains moving once again as our secondary gives up a big play and can't get us off the field. Where have we heard that before? Chris Long joins in on the fun though on a toss play that runs right into him, and he tacks on another tackle for a loss early in his NFL career. Pass interference, though, gives the Giants the first, and they make it an emphasis to pound the rock early on us, unlike what the Eagles did. And they use Jacobs early and often, even getting him out in space in the passing game for a 1st down. Now down near the goal line, Jacobs picks up another 1st down, and this drive has been nothing but easy for the Giants so far. 2nd and goal now, and Eli is able to hit well-dressed Amani Toomer for an easy touchdown. And this defense looks lost already. Eli and the Giants offense just called anything and everything they wanted outside of 2 plays from Carlos Dansby and Chris Long. Concerning stuff early on in the Edward Jones Dome. So our offense tries to get going, and on 2nd and short, Bolger has to get it off quickly as Osi Umenyiora almost gets the sack. have to be very careful with this Giants defensive front. 3rd and short, and Leonard gets blown up in the backfield. The O-line gets pushed back, and we just don't have an answer to the Giants' early touchdown drive. Giants with the ball back get into a quick 3rd and short, and this time it's Terrell Suggs with the big stop in the backfield. He was nowhere to be found in the game against the Eagles, so very nice to see him get a play here early.
That was an outstanding play.
Bulger, trying to get the offense going, gives a quick dump off to Brandon Williams for a decent pickup here. But it's a very quick first quarter, as we're already into the second quarter with nothing really to show so far. 7-0 Giants. That is until Dante Stallworth has reservations for 6. Off to the house he goes, and just like that, we are all tied up. His ability to turn a game around at the drop of a hat is exactly why we brought him to St. Louis. However, though, the Giants have themselves an incredible mismatch in their favor, as there is just nobody on our secondary that can match the size of Plaxico Burress as he picks up a big first down. Our D-line gives Brandon Jacobs no room to run, though, as that sets up a 3rd down that Eli and company cannot convert. Long field goal attempt for Matt Bryant, who can't make it, and we stay as a tie game in the second quarter. With Brian Leonard getting the start over injured DeSean Jackson, he is able to finally break one off to the sideline for a nice gain. Next play, Leonard gets the call again and breaks off another big run. Here we go, finally something here. But with nothing happening in the next few plays, our offense is stuck in a 3rd and long situation. And this time, Mark Bulger finds the rookie out of Cal, DeSean Jackson, down the seam with no one around him, and no one's going to catch this man. The playmakers we have in this receiving core with Dante Stallworth, DeSean Jackson, and Stevie Johnson can be a potential nightmare for defensive coordinators. So 14-7 now as our D holds the Giants to a punt. And on 3rd and long, Dante Stallworth comes up big again for a huge pickup, as he is making Mark Bulger look good today. But just a few plays later, Bulger pass gets jumped by Aaron Ross for the interception. Oh, another forced throw by Bulger costs us, and the Giants have the ball right back in striking distance. After a face mask gets called a play later, we get some huge injury news. Mark Bulger, left leg injury, out for the rest of this game. Oh man, oh man. Someone who was in the fire heading into this season now might miss some time, which is not good news for him. Now we need to make a decision at quarterback. Does our rookie quarterback Colt Brennan make his debut or not? Meanwhile, they'll hold the Giants to a field goal, as that is now a 4-point game, as this game is quickly headed towards halftime already. We won't know the severity of Bulger's injury till after this game, but we will turn the rest of this game over to second-string quarterback Luke McCown. He was my emergency backup QB plan after we cut Trent Dilfer in the preseason, and this was the exact type of situation I pictured putting him in. So we'll ride with McCown for now, but he will have a very short leash, I can promise you that. McCown finds his man on 3rd and long, though, and gets the drive going with some potential points before the half, as 2 nice plays in a row gets us on the Giants' side of the field. McCown takes a bad sack here, however, though, and we try to pick up what we can to try and set up a Prater field goal. We are hit with more injury news as well. Orlando Pace has exited the game with an injury. Now there's no Mark Bulger on this offense, no DeSean Jackson on this offense, and no Orlando Pace. We have got to get very creative with Josh McCown under center. 4th down now with the half expiring. We send Prater out for the 55-yard field goal. And he drills it. Man, every point is going to matter with Luke McCown at the helm. So that huge field goal before the half cannot be understated. Second half now as the Rams have the ball, and McCown does a nice job giving what the defense gives him, dumping it off to Stevie Johnson, who does the rest for a big pickup. Brian Leonard in the running game shows some signs of life as he takes off for a nice first down here. But nothing doing after that as the McCown offense stalls out and Prater tacks on another field goal here. Our defense holds the Giants to a 3-and-out after a near interception from Will Witherspoon as he makes his season debut after missing last game with an injury. But we match the Giants' punt with a punt of our own as our run game just can't pick up the first on the 3rd and short. Now here's when Eli starts to hit his connections to Plaxico with a big pickup to start the drive. And just a few plays later, another huge first down to his 6'5" receiver who our secondary just has no answers for. Just when the Giants get something going in the passing game, they start to gash us with the run now. As we head into the 4th quarter with a 10-point lead, we can't feel all that great with how well the Giants are moving the ball right now.
Guys, you're killing me.
2nd and 2 on the 10-yard line, and there goes that man, Brandon Jacobs, as he just shrugs off would-be tacklers for a touchdown. Only a matter of time before he got his own, and now they cut our lead to 3. Antonio Pierce and this Giants D even blow up our stretch plays as they are starting to pin the ears back on Luke McCown. But a face mask penalty bails us out and was shaping up to be another 3-and-out. With a fresh set of downs though, McCown hits Holt on the sideline who fancy feeds his way down for a first down. And then Brian Leonard gets the call, who chugs his way down for a big gain all the way down inside the Giants' 20. Few plays later, McCown makes a nice play in the pocket, hitting Brandon Williams to get the Rams down to the goal line. Big opportunity here now to extend the lead. And after seeing rookie DeSean Jackson get his first career touchdown, why not see Steve Slayton, the rookie from West Virginia, gets his as the power toss works and the lead gets back to 10 for our Rams. Giants aren't going to give up on the run just yet though as Brandon Jacobs chugs his way along to get across the 50. But they don't hand it off to him on 3rd and 2 and now are forced to go for it on a big 4th down. And they try to catch us off with a play-action bootleg from Eli, which falls incomplete. Our defense was not fooled one bit by that and forced a turnover on downs with just 6 minutes left. However, the Giants are dialed into the run right now as we go nowhere, trying to get this drive going and eat up some clock. 3rd and long, Giants bring the blitz and Josh McCown hits a wide open Brandon Williams who does the rest. Huge first down as time is winding down. The Rams are now staring 2-0 right in the face. 2.5 minutes left now, but the Giants get right after McCown this time, and the Rams are out of field goal range. Still up 10, however, and time is not on the Giants' side. Let's see what Eli can do. Big play to start off the drive to Plaxico, which was there all day but was really not exploited enough by the Giants. As 2nd down is yet another huge pickup to Plax. Then Toomer gets in on the fun, and just like that, the Giants are inside the 20. Eli throws a pass that was just off to Steve Smith, however, but this one certainly isn't over yet. A holding call pushes the Giants back, but on 3rd and long, Eli finds Toomer again to set up a 4th and short. Clock ticking down now with all 3 timeouts here. Eli takes the snap and fires it to the end zone to who else? Plaxico Burress catches it for the touchdown and cuts the lead to 3 with just 45 seconds left. So just like the Philly game, this one is going to come down to the onside kick. Matt Bryan sets up his onside, gets a couple of good bounces, and we have guys who have no idea where it is, but we just barely fall on it in the last second. Somehow our tackle Forrester is on the hands team, but I guess that's why he is, as we look to get this season off to a 2-0 start. Just 1 first down will seal this game, but we've got to protect the ball unlike we did against the Eagles. Slayton picks up 5 as the Giants call their first timeout. Brian Leonard can't get it done on 2nd down, and neither on 3rd down. And we're forced to punt it back to the Giants with 31 seconds left. Giants get the drive going on 1st down, but the clock keeps ticking away here. Eli decides not to clock it and just throws an awful pass that double covers that falls incomplete. Finally, with 2 seconds left, Giants try to get the pass off quickly, maybe try to get a little pitchy woo-woo action, but it falls incomplete, and that is your ball game in St. Louis. Rich Gannon and the Rams are starting this season off 2-0, all coming down to the wire against two very good NFC East teams in the Eagles and the Giants. What a way to begin this season. What drama-filled games we get to start this season. And while they certainly weren't the sexiest wins, they were wins nonetheless. But we certainly don't leave these games unscathed, as Orlando Pace will be out next week's game with a hand injury. And the biggest news of the day, Mark Bulger and his leg injury. Now, he's only going to miss 5 to 6 days, but that does mean he will be out in the next game, as we have our division opener against the Seattle Seahawks coming up. So it begs the question, do we turn it over to our preseason phenom, the rookie Colt Brennan, who I think we are all very antsy to see him make his NFL debut? Or do we play it safe and go with McCown, who certainly did enough in his relief against the Giants and looked pretty good actually? Certainly not an easy spot for either guy, as heading on the road to Quest Field is a tough task for any quarterback. Huge decision to make here. Next episode, we'll head to Seattle, as either Colt or McCown will be at the helm, as we look to start this season 3-0, which hasn't been achieved by the Rams since 2001. But thank you for checking this one out, everyone. Take care.